And Tiffany has now confirmed the receipt of that takeover offer from France's LVMH. It advised shareholders to take no action pending a board review. LVMH, whose brands include Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior and Dom Perignon, has offered $120 a share in cash for the upscale jeweler, Blue Box, of course. That would value Tiffany at about $14.5 billion. Joining us right now on the Squawk Newsline is Oppenheimer analyst Brian Nagel. Brian, my understanding is that the board, while they're going to go through the motions of examining it, if you will, examining, I put in air quotes, that they will reject this bid as being too low. The question, of course, now, and you can already see it in terms of the stock price, where things go, how much do you think LVMH can afford to pay and how much will they pay? We're looking at Tiffany, by the way, at $130, at $10 already over that price. The high, by the way, was about a little over a year ago at $136 a share.
Well, good morning. This is very interesting, and it's been very fluid over the past, say, 24, 48 hours now. To answer your question, Andrew, I don't think Tiffany sells at 120. I do think Tiffany is interested in selling to LVMH. Now, the price, I put out a comment to our clients this morning. I think it's around 140.
Yep.
There's a couple ways I get there. One's relatively simplistic. It's exactly what you said. July of 2018, Tiffany traded just below 140. I'm hard pressed to see the company sell for a price that's lower than where the stock traded on its own. Okay, so that's one way to get to the other four. The other way I look at it is LVMH bought Bulgari, which is a company that's somewhat similar to Tiffany back in 2011. They paid a multiple, 4 to 4.2 times sales. If you apply that same type of multiple to Tiffany, again, you get a price around 140. So I think that's where that's a likely takeout price for Tiffany.
So $140 a share. In terms of what LVMH can afford to pay, dilution, everything else, I mean, obviously LVMH is 10 times the size of Tiffany.
Yeah, and that's hard for me. That's harder for me. It's harder for me to say because I don't follow LVMH closely. You're 100% right about just the sheer size of the company, and also show just the mentality of this company, or say the personality of this company. They have clearly made a number of acquisitions of high quality brands in the past, so they have a willingness to buy. But it's hard for me to say exactly where LVMH could pay up to. I think they could very much pay the 140.
Pay the 140. And in terms of timeline, I don't know if you focused on the board of Tiffany. If Tiffany were to say, no, we're not interested, could you imagine LVMH going hostile in terms of looking at their fiscal year when the proxy season begins?
That's also, from my vantage point, that's the answer, just because I don't know LVMH as well. But I would say from going the other way, and going back to what I said, a second ago, I think you have what I would consider with Tiffany, a motivated seller here. And it's an interesting dynamic. So there's a relatively new management team running Tiffany. They've done a lot of good things. They've been repositioning the company successfully, but we really haven't seen that yet in the results. Fundamentally, I tend to think the second half of 2019 will be challenging for Tiffany. So I think, and I look at from the other side, I think Tiffany is a potentially motivated seller here to get paid for the work that they've done that's unlikely to show up in the stock price on its own.